To another exciting video, a video in which you're going to learn a technique to speed up your drafting in the workforce. Today we're going to learn how to properly model step footings for a foundation plan. To start off with, we're going to place some grids. We're going to go to structural and we'll place some grids. Doesn't matter how many you place. We're just gonna randomly put a couple in here, and then afterwards we'll make them equal. And the shortcut key that I use to activate the command is GR enter, and that activates the command. If you don't like shortcuts, all you basically have to do is go to your structural tab and then click on grids. Now we're going to draw some horizontally. I'll use the ribbon. I'll change it up. And since I don't want this to continue the numbering system, all I have to do is change this to a letter. I'll make it A. And once I generate another one, it'll work off of the last letter or number you use. So it's going with the lettering system. That should be okay. Then we'll just drag this here, and then to make all these equal, all you have to do is either type in DI to activate your dimensions. Usually I typically use the align command, and I click on each of the grids, and then click in outer space here, and then once you do that, see this equal with the slash, click on it, it makes them all equal for you. And then on these I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to use the ribbon here to teach you how to find the annotations. Go to annotation, and then you can find the linear there. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to click on each of the grids, click out of it, and then we're going to click on the equals so we can make it equal. Then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to model our concrete wall. So we're going to go to structural. We'll call this concrete. We'll go to wall. We'll do structural. And you can do a generic. Typically, whenever you choose one of the generic families from Revit, you want to edit the family, and then you'll get this pop-up window. And you don't want to mess with the standard basic families that come with the software. You want to duplicate this. You want to duplicate it and then create your own customized wall, which I'm going to call this an 8-inch concrete wall. Once I do that, I'm going to edit the structure of my wall. I'm going to keep it at 8 inches thick, since it's typical cast in place wall typically is either 8 inches, 12 inches, 16 inches. It all depends on the soils and the structural engineer's design. But what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to click on the category here, because I want to click on and change the material, and I'm going to type in concrete, C-O-N-C, and I'm going to choose, let me drag this longer. You can see appearance. I'm going to grab the cast in place gray for my material and click OK. And click apply, click OK. Then the next thing I'm going to do is go back to my structural tab, go back to my wall, structural, and then I'm going to select it. But then what I want to do is, once I select it, I want to draw in my walls. So what I'm going to do is, I'm trying to find the option here, but it's not giving me the option, but that's fine. I'm going to click again, structural, click on the wall, which is activated, and then I don't want to do center line. I want to do the well, we can keep it at center line. So I'm going to start drawing my walls. But before I do that, the reason why I couldn't see anything and I was having trouble, and as you noticed, I kind of hesitated, is because right now I'm on the first level. But then since I'm on the first level, I'm going to model my walls from ground up. So you want to change the depth. You want to change that to height, because height means it's going to model it from first level up. And then I want it to connect to the second level. So now once I do that, I'll get this feature here, which is the one I was looking for. Now that I see it, I'm going to click on the rectangle feature, that one right there. If it lets me, okay, perfect. I'm going to click there and click to the outer upper right hand corner where my two grids intersect. And then once I click, I'm going to escape out of it. And then I'm going to go to my 3D view so you can see those walls. See those walls there. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I want to add my my footings for my retaining walls. So what I'm going to do is go back to structural, and I'm going to choose this option, which is the structural foundation wall. Once you click on this and you click on any of the walls, it'll automatically model the wall right underneath it. So I'm going to select the next one and just go around my model and select the rest. Now that that's done, we're doing great. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to go to an elevation view. Here we go. Here we go. I want to go to an elevation view. So here is my elevation. So level 1, I'm going to change that and I'm going to call it ground level. And the reason I want to call it ground level is because when I design my step footing walls, I want them to be embedded below this level. You know, it could either be a foot, 2 feet, depending on what the engineer requests. For this particular tutorial, I'm just going to be generic and I'm just going to show you how they're supposed to look. I'm not going to be nitpicky and drop them certain dimensions. You can do that on your own when you're actually applying these techniques to your projects. So for now, what I'm going to do is teach you how to properly model step footings. So the next thing you want to do is, the best way to go about this is to actually splice the wall. So to splice the wall, you just need to type in SL, right? And then once you type SL, you need to select where you wanna do your splicing. I'm gonna do my splicing right around here. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna try to get as near as possible to my grid line, to my to my grid. So I'm gonna click there, and then I'm gonna click there, and as you can see, these walls are already spliced. Basically, when we splice them, all we're doing is we're splitting the walls. We can always join them later, which I'm gonna show you how to do that. Now what I want to do is, if you want to be specific and you want to drop these retaining walls to certain depths, you can do that by either creating additional levels, which we can do. I can do LL and generate another level. And then we can generate one more. And then we can draw, and then we can change the elevation of it here. Just click in here. We'll drop this 2 feet. And we'll change our scale so we can see the text better. Not too much. We'll make it, that's better. So we'll make that 2 feet, negative 2 feet under the ground. We'll make this one 4.5 feet. below grade, like that. Now what you want to do next is start dropping them. So we'll drop this one to this level. Give me 1 second, undo that. You want to click on the wall, and then for the bottom constraint, you want to set it at level 3, apply, and then for this one, just click on it so you can activate it, and then for the bottom constraint, you want to drop it to level 4. There you go. So now we have our step footing, and if we go to 3D view, and then you can see how now it's stepping. And I can change the, let me change the graphics so you can see it better to a shaded. There you go. There's your step footing. And of course, you might be asking yourselves, I'll change this back to hidden. You might be asking yourselves, well, yeah, you have them stepping, but what about here? Don't you need these to extend? You know, don't you need the footings to extend past the concrete wall? And to answer your question, yes. To do that, all you have to do is go to one of the elevations. We'll go to the north elevation. And what you can do is you can just grab it here, and then you can either drag it. But if you can drag it and just as far as you want, but if you need to drag it to a specific dimension, what I would do is I would type in DL for line, and I would just draw a line as a reference, and then I would type OF for offset, and then let's say I wanted to extend a foot. I'll make sure I change this to a foot. I'll do that, and then I'll hover over my line, my reference line, and then click, and then I'll delete that line, grab this, and then just drag it to that line there, and then drags to it, snaps to it. And you can do this, and then since we already know that distance is a foot, I can just click on it, on that line, type in CO for copy, grab a common point, drop it there, and then we can do the same thing with this footing, and we can just, I believe if you type in LA for a line, you can click on your reference line, and then click on your footing, and it snaps it, which is another technique you can use. LA, which activates this command right here. Once you do that, let's go to a 3D view. You can see now that they extend like we want them to. Now the next thing you might be asking is, okay, you got the footings there, you got them modeled correctly, but what about the concrete pour here? Because typically there's a 45-degree angle concrete pour. How would you go about modeling that and making it part of the wall so that you have a perfect step footing modeled into your project? To do that, what you would do is make this coarse so I don't see the hatches. Okay, yeah, let me undo that. Okay, perfect. To do that, what you would need to do is you would need to model in place a family, and we can definitely do that. First thing what I would do is I would activate my section box, and I would drag it in, because sometimes you want to do some of your modeling in 3D because it makes more sense and it's easier. So I'm going to drag this cut further in because I want to model one here, and then once I model one here, I'll just copy it over. So let's say I extend it further. That should be about right. Okay, and then what I like to do is at this point, since I know I'm going to model my pour footing here, I'm thinking I have to think of which type of what type of modeling techniques I'm going to use, whether I'm going to either do an extrusion or any other type of technique. So in this case, I'm going to do an extrusion. So the next thing I need to do is go to my structural tab, and then what I want to do is I want to go over here. I want to go here and click on, play a model in place, because I'm going to model it in 3D where I need it to go. But before I do that, it's always very important that you need to set your work plane. So I'm going to click on work plane. I'm going to pick on a plane, and I'm going to choose the plane on which I'm going to sketch my extrusion. Since I'm going to be sketching it on this wall, I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to click to show to make sure I got the correct plane. And as you can see, it's showing me correctly. That's the plane I wanted it to be at. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just rotate this slightly. As you can see, as I'm rotating this slightly, I'm going to try to do this all in 3D. I'm not going to go to any of the plan views. So as you can see this, as you can see, I'm rotating it. I have this cube. So I want to be perpendicular to this face when I sketch my extrusion. So since I know I'm going to be on this plane, it takes me directly to here, which is where I'm going to be sketching it right there. And I'm just going to slightly rotate so you can see that that's exactly where I want it to be, but I want to sketch this one down here. So there you go. So I'm going to go back and click on the back, so it gives me a total perpendicular view. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to structural. I'm going to go to a component. I'm going to click on model in place. And then I'm going to choose what type of component I want to model. Since we're doing a foundation, I'm going to keep it on the foundation and call it structural foundation. So it's the category on which I'm setting it at. And then I'm just going to call it concrete, just to be generic, concrete pour. Click that. And then now I'm going to sketch. I'm going to click on extrusion, and I'm going to sketch my family. Click on that. So I want it to be 45 degrees. So 45 right there, take it to there, 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 there. And then after I do that, since I know my wall thickness is 8 inches, all I need to do is type in 8 inches. But I'm not going to type a positive 8 inches because I want it to go into my page, not towards me. So I'm going to make it a negative here. Negative. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on category and make sure that I assigned a material. And it has to be the same material that you assigned for your wall. You have to make sure that they're both the same. And once I do that, I'm going to click the slash to finish my model. Click finish. And I'll go to a 3D view so you can see it. And there it is. There it is. So now that I have that one in there, I'll change my I'll change it to shaded so you can see it better. There it is. There's that little pour that I needed for my model. It's in there. The next thing I want to do is copy that one over to there. But since I want to be precise, I'm going to click on this view. So I have a perpendicular view in my 3D. I'm going to copy it there and drop it there. The next thing I want to do is I want to join these. And to do that, just click on one of the elements, click on joint, and click on the other element, and it joins it. Do the same thing for this one. Click on this element, and it joins it. And I got to do this for this portion of it too. So all I have to do is click on this element, click join again, click on the element, and it joins it. And now if I go to my hidden view, you can see that I have, let me join this one again. So click on join this element with this element, and there you go, it joins it. So you got a smooth joint there. Do the same thing with this one. So we'll go to join, click on the wall, click on the or we'll click on this element, and then on our wall. For some reason it's not doing it here, but it surely did do it over here. And now you can see that this will be a proper way of modeling a step footing. I hope this video was useful, and as I've always mentioned, please join my channel, because I do intend to provide you guys with more videos and more techniques on how to model structural elements and even architectural elements in Revit to make your drafting faster and more efficient. So please join my channel, and see you guys into the next one. Bye.